everybody. Welcome to Mortal Content, Chapter 8. So I'm really excited because tonight we've been a little heavy on some of the horror stuff recently, but being that it's spooky season, as the expression goes by the kids, and I am not a kid, we decided I'd have my good friend Aaron Saufley on, and we'd talk some horror movies because you, my friend, are way into horror even more than I am. And that is a considerable statement there. So welcome to the show, sir.
Greetings and salutations, Douglas. It's an honor and a privilege to be joining you this fine evening.
That's a little heavy-handed, but I'll take it. So, yeah, thank you. Before we start, are you drinking anything? Do you have anything that you're sipping on or whatever it may be?
Yeah. So, being the diabetic that I am, my life is filled with sadness and maybe a little bit of regret. Not really. I just discovered like liquid death, like the canned water, but this is like sparkling flavored water, and this one's called Dr. Death. It tastes a smidge like Dr. Pepper. I think most people would hate it. I really like it, and there's no sugar in it. It's like agave sweetened monk fruit, so not terrible, but that's what I got.
Are you do you like Dr. Pepper as a regular soda? I know you drink it without sugar if you drink soda, but.
Oh, I've had to drop all of it. But yes, back in my soda swilling days, I love Dr. Pepper. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you and my wife. Dr. Pepper's fine, but it's like, I always feel like that would taste like if you took where you got your soda from a fast food place and you had this much Dr. Pepper left and all the ice cubes melted and then they put fizz in it. That's what I'm envisioning.
It really kind of is.
Yeah.
Not heavy, not super sweet, but I enjoy it. So you don't have to. I'll enjoy it for you.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. So, yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk horror movies tonight because it's Halloween season, and you and I are both big fans of the genre. Mm-hmm. But there's a bunch of genres within that. So before we start, I figured we'd go and talk a bit about what our favorite genres are within horror. So why don't you go first? Give me the ones that like you really gravitate towards. I feel like I know them, but I want to see if I'm right or wrong.
Gotcha. I really, really dig religious horror, big time. Being a pastor, you would think, oh no, I'd let the demons in. No, I love that because horror is the only genre that deals with religion and the supernatural elements really at all. And a lot of it's really wacky, but it still does. So I love religious horror, and specifically within it, possession movies. My favorite movie of all time is in the horror genre is The Exorcist. Great film. Every other possession movie kind of pales in comparison, but there's some really good ones that I might bring up tonight. So I like that. What else do I like? This isn't really a genre, but anything that has an interesting structure, movie-wise. Maybe it's told non-linearly, or maybe it's like multiple storylines happening at the same time that converge. I like anything like that. Anything weird. Skinamarink. Weirdest movie I've ever seen in my life, and most people hate it. I love it. It's just it's strange, just so weird. One that has really surfaced in the last. Well, no, it hasn't. It's been around for a while, but gosh, what would I call it? I can't think of a term for it. Socially aware horror.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I think we may have some of those available in our list tonight, maybe.
I think a bunch will pop up in there. Things that are trying to speak out on social issues. And let's see. Those are really the big ones. I know what I don't like. I'm not real big on sci-fi horror. I like one or two, but like not big on the alien movies. That's really the big one. I know you're a huge sci-fi fan, so that's like blasphemy to you. But that's one I really like. I don't lean to, but if you ever had a recommendation, I would always watch it. So
yeah, I sci-fi horror is a little difficult because they're fairly, what's the word, formulaic, because there's not a lot of space to explore, really, haha. Because most of them take place in ships. Like you might have some that end up being on a planet or maybe come to Earth or whatever. But well, that's not true. But I'm saying like the one Aliens is probably the most popular franchise of that. So I see what you're saying there. But before I forgot to say what I was drinking, and I wanted to talk about it because I got this simply because one, I love before I get to it. It's called Lore, which I think is a great sort of theme for our show because lore is part of storytelling. And so cheers on that. As you know, I'm a big Scotch fan, so this is right up my alley. Oh man, I love that because it's so peaty and smoky. But yeah, I'm only going to really mention. I'm open to pretty much any kind of stuff. There's a handful of exceptions, but my favorites are like the psychological thriller stuff, psychological horror, like that kind of stuff. Just I love that. And I really I'm with you. I like the weird stuff that just goes in directions that you aren't expecting. And I don't mean like just surprise endings. I mean, and I have a few of these in my list where they're just super oddball movies, but I just love them for what they are because these people took a risk and they were trying to do something really different. And sometimes that shit really fails. And we have a few of them that I'll have on my list that I think just were wildly successful. And I just admire the ability to just have the balls to be like, we're not going to do the same old horror story. We're going to do something completely different. So I like a lot of supernatural horror too. It's funny. My wife was like very much likes the folklore style horror. And that's in there for her. I like one thing I'm not, I can take it or leave it is like gothic horror. That's not really not really in my wheelhouse too much, but those are the ones that we have. I just wanted to kind of set the stage for what we're going to talk about because, not everything I have is in my favorites because I just, enjoy the movies, but I just wanted to kind of give us a hint of, Thank you very much. Yes. So yeah, why don't we start here? We're going to do our top 10 horror movies of the 21st century. So anything from 2000 on. We're 25 years in, which seems insane, but here we are. So yeah. I mean, it seems like yesterday we were worried about Y2K, but anyway. Which I think there was a horror movie named Y2K, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It was really bad.
I didn't see it. It's another genre I don't care for. I don't like comedy horror, like scary movie. Not big on those. But yeah, that just came out a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That was new. I was thinking there was one that was an older one. But anyway. All right. So we're going to start here. I'm going to let the guests go first. Let's start. What is your 10th favorite movie? And I'd like to say that I think like me, you're going to be, these are sort of malleable. Like your lists are, obviously they're always going to evolve because new stuff comes out and whatever. But like, I had a hard time kind of pinning stuff into a slot. I knew it like the ones I wanted, and then I had some honorable mentions. But yeah, it was difficult to kind of make just 10 and fit them in a list. But go ahead.
Yes, I agree. For me, if it's a great movie, I'm going to own a hard copy unless it's not out yet. So I went through my library and just picked out the ones I really, really like from the 21st century, and then some that haven't come out or I haven't purchased yet. Gosh, so many, and maybe we can, talk about the honorable mentions because they're really good. But for me, my top 10 is in no particular order except for number one. Number one is far and away my favorite of the 21st century. But number 10, let me make sure I've got 10. Yes, there was a 10. Late Night with the Devil came out a couple of years ago. Gosh, that's one that it's a structure movie combined with a little bit of possession. I love how they structured this film and made it, kind of like a documentary of, this this late night TV show that happened in the 70s, and they cut to the real footage. And then at commercial breaks, they went to black and white and showed behind the scenes stuff. And the ending is just bizarre. It is bonkers. But yeah, that's one I like because of the structure, and like the acting's fantastic too. Special effects are crazy. So I stayed, like, I was glued. My eyes were glued to the screen watching that one. Loved it.
Yeah, that one just barely missed the list for me. Like I agree with that. The way they structured that, and just like the ending, I absolutely love the ending. Like I love the ending. And I am married to a person who tries to figure out the endings to everything 5 minutes into the movie. And I was like, "Did you know that was coming?" Yes. I'm like, I'm like, all right, sorry. That
My
is
wife,
actually
thing, figures it out. She's like, did you see that? I'm like, no, I'm lost in the moment. She's like, nope, I figured it out. So I'm with you.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like, yeah, that is the only like I don't watch a lot of horror movies with her because of that. Because there's like horror movies, people are doing dumb stuff a lot of times, and they put themselves in a situation that people most likely wouldn't be in, or just have poor judgment doing something. But that's kind of the way the genre is. You have to kind of accept that, and that kind of flies in the face of how she sees things. So she just gets super frustrated sometimes. But other things she really likes. But yeah. So I'm going to start with my number 10, and my number 10 is a director I think we both really enjoy. It's the movie The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. And that is another one, just structure, weird movie. Lovecraftian stuff is involved.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe is fucking great. So is Pattinson. And the way they just film it, and like some of the close-ups, and it's just raining the whole time. And man, the atmosphere in that, you can't beat the atmosphere in that movie. I just absolutely love that movie.
That one barely didn't make it. Like, that was one of the last ones I was trying to decide on. But oh my gosh, yeah, Willem Dafoe is just delightful. What do you mean you don't like me cooking?
it's like, so awkward the whole time. It's just great.
If I had a steak, I'd fuck it. Oh my gosh.
Like, what kind of line is that? But that was part of the line.
And it's brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, I'm right there with you. That one barely didn't. It could have switched out. So yeah, love that one.
Yeah, that was an Eggers one, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what I thought. I was like, man, did I get that right? Because I know we're both pretty big fans of his work. So yeah, that was my number 10. But like I said, at the end we'll do some honorable mentions and all that jazz. We both had honorable mentions already, but yeah. Okay, so what is next? Number 9, man. I'm really intrigued because I have some ones on this list I don't think you have, and yeah, we'll see if we coalesce on some of these.
I think we might. So yeah, number 9 for me comes from one of my new favorite directors, Osgood Perkins. He's put out some really good films, like Gretel and Hansel is just creepy and so good. The Monkey is just absurd. He's got another one coming out in another month, I think. But I went with the one from late last year, Longlegs. 2 words, Nicolas Cage. Just batshit crazy. Which I think Perkins just went to him and said, hey, you just do you. And he went with it. I think it's Nick Cage's best performance, and he's had a good one. So obvious homage to Silence of the Lambs. Osgood Perkins makes no bones about it. He loves that movie. That's what he did. I think he captured that spirit. I absolutely love that film.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more on just how good that movie is. And Osgood Perkins was like, you mean the dude that was in Legally Blonde, who was the weird dude? And I'm like, oh, that guy. And it's Anthony Perkins' kid, I think, too, isn't it?
Right. Yes, sir.
So the guy who was in Psycho, that's his kid directing horror movies. And again, you're right. I think this whole, like, remember we were there, Nick Cage came out and he was kind of on fire in the 80s and 90s. And then he got really weird. And then everybody's kind of like, what the fuck? And they just backed off. And then he just started making this resurgence. A lot of his, and he takes on roles that, like, like just really super interesting things he will take on to try and do. Like if you watch Longlegs, you're just like, I don't even know what that was. Like I that was fantastic. What was that? And just I remember taking, so two of my kids are horror fans, and I took them to see that, and they were both like, that was great, but I'm really not sure what I just watched. Like that was their summation of the movie. So yeah, if you haven't seen Longlegs, I'm with Aaron, man. That's a really good flick. I did not have that in my top 10 though.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Oh my God, Nick Cage in that. And the lady, I cannot remember the main lady who's a detective. I cannot remember her name. She was great. She played like almost like she was like an autistic person detective, and really played that really role super well. Just yeah. So that was really a superb job. And like you said, Nick Cage knocked that shit out of the park.
He did.
Oh my God. All right, the next one for me is going to be something that was just out this year or late last year. I can't remember. I think it was this year. And I heard really good things, but I was like, yeah, maybe. And then I watched it, and after the why the fuck did I not see that sooner? It's so freaking good, and it is The Substance, which
yes,
that is like, and the thing is, it's body horror, but it's body horror with, like you said, that socially conscious thing, because it's all about the drive in Hollywood to women to stay beautiful and young. And it's just this whole just diatribe on how fucked up that is, and how far women will go and are being pushed to go and do things that they shouldn't do. And it's just like Demi Moore's really excellent in it. I didn't imagine her doing that. And just but I feel like just her doing that was like, hey, I'm an older woman. Look at this fucking shit I got to put up with. It's just like, yeah. So I really, 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 it's one of those movies that kind of sticks in your craw a little bit because it makes you kind of look at things a bit differently.
Yes.
Yeah. So that I'll rewatch that at some point. I need to sit on that one for a bit before I rewatch it again. But like, yeah. So that was just so freaking good. I'm mad that I didn't see that sooner.
I'm right there with you. Phenomenal film, and yeah, it is. It's a lot, and it just keeps pushing. So yeah, it was phenomenal. I'm right there with you. Excellent body horror with a very good message. Loved it.
Yeah, some body horror that's not always my favorite, but that was really super well done. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed the hell out of that one. And like I said, I think we could say with our list, if you haven't seen any of these, fucking go watch them. What are you waiting on? But yeah. So
that's right.
So what you got next?
All right, number 8 is from I'm probably going to butcher this name. The Philippou brothers, YouTubers who broke out last year or the year before with Talk to Me, which was phenomenal. They released their sophomore effort this year, Bring Her Back. It has been a long time since a movie freaked me out. Because I watch so much horror, I'm like desensitized to it. That movie freaked me out multiple times. The special effects, and from what I understand, there's no CGI in there. These are practical effects that they did, which makes it even crazier. And the story is phenomenal, and I don't know who the kid is in it. He was fantastic. Just so good. So just creepy and in some ways shocking with what they did. But if this is what's going to come from these brothers, I can't wait to see what else they come up with, because this was this might be my favorite one of this year so far, and this year's got a lot of good ones.
Yeah, this year has been really good. I agree with you. I saw that in a theater, and I'm with you. That was really grotesque in some ways, and just really disturbing with some of the ways they got to where they were, like just the ways they navigated all that. So I didn't realize that I knew they were fairly new. I didn't realize they were YouTube guys who just made movies, and that's just pretty cool in its own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. They're great already. So yeah.
Well, they'll have more money than what they know what to do with from here on out, probably, because I didn't see Talk to Me yet. That was one I haven't seen yet. And I just was like, I think on your recommendation, you should go see this because they made Talk to Me, and Talk to Me was really good. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go check it out. And I was just like, oh, man.
Yeah.
There's a bit in there with the kid where they come out of the shed, and I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, and I'm trying to not do spoilers because you haven't just seen it. I don't want to spoil it, but when one kid walks out of the shed, it is blah blah.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll make your stomach do a little jig, and maybe
that's right.
In a good way. That was a heck of an experience in the theater, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't in there with a lot of people. There's another movie that isn't on my top 10 that I have my honorable mentions that I saw with a bunch of people in the theater. That the audience reaction to it was awesome. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just whoa.
There is nothing else to say. You are correct, sir.
That's a shame. I'm a man that doesn't like to stop talking, and I can't give words out to describe what that was like. All right, so my number 8 was I think it was another Eggers film, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna might be wrong on this, but it's The Witch.
Correct, it is.
With Anna Taylor-Joy and Black Phillip. Fucking Black Phillip, man.
Yes.
Yeah. This is one of the rare ones that's like what I would call period piece horror that I like. Mm-hmm. I generally am not a huge fan of I don't like period piece movies much. Like, I just generally don't. But the way they did this and the way they built the dread, and like the way the family is like on the verge of just not having any food, and just the desolation, they're ostracized, and just like, oh my word, like what the fuck's gonna happen? These people gonna live? So yeah. And the creepiest use of a sheep in a movie I can think of.
Absolutely. Yes. Oh my gosh, so good. And I'm looking for the guy. Oh, Ralph, is it Innocent? The dad. Mm-hmm. I could listen to that man read the phone book, just that deep baritone voice. But he was phenomenal. Yeah, that's one of those that it almost made my top 10, but I went with another Eggers movie. So yeah, an absolutely wonderful period piece. I love period pieces. So.
Would you also consider this religious horror? Because I would.
Yes, absolutely. That is, I think it's more occult horror.
Yeah.
With the religious faith part being the MacGuffin. It's the MacGuffin. It's kind of what drives the story, but isn't like absolutely necessary to the plot. It's what gets it started, and then it keeps moving forward. So yeah, I think it's religious horror, but also occult horror too, and gothic horror. It's a whole bunch, but really well done.
Yeah. But like I said, that was kind of an exception to my normal. I don't really care for that. Like another one that I'll give you that I don't have it in my list, but like it's a movie called The Others with Nicole Kidman, and that is a period piece. And I didn't care for that movie because it was a period piece. I didn't care for it because it was a period piece. That sucks.
Well, let's move forward because that was number 7 for me. Love The Others. I absolutely love that film. Now the first DVD I ever bought was Interview with a Vampire. which now we fondly in my family call the gay vampire movie, because they are definitely
very homoerotic.
Very. That was the first one I bought. The second one was The Others. I enjoy this movie. The plot twist at the end is good. I think 20 years, well, almost 25 years later, the plot twist seems a little tame. But for back then, it was not quite up there with The Sixth Sense, but it's kind of along the same lines as The Sixth Sense. But I loved it, and I can't remember the actress's name who played the maid. She was also in Lost and a lot of stuff. She was phenomenal. Just reminded me a lot of my grandma. Like, if my grandma was a ghost, it would be her. So, yeah, I love The Others.
Yeah, I'm trying to look to see who that was. I didn't realize Christopher Eccleston was in that too. But yeah,
Doctor Who.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure who the other one is because none of the names are familiar. And I watched Lost a lot, so I remember almost all the folks in that show.
Yeah.
But, so that.
Fionnuala Flanagan.
Okay.
I probably butchered that name like crazy.
Yeah, it was like an Irish name where they pronounce like letters that aren't in the name, and you're like, "What the fuck? Yeah. That's not even close."
How do you get Seamus out of that?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, that's why we're doing these lists. It's all subjective, and like I said, the thing is I'm not a person who. I will, like you, I lose myself in a movie. Take me on your journey. I don't want to know what's going on next. I want to be surprised if you have a twist. That was so blatantly obvious, the twist for me, that I saw it, and that kind of didn't help me either. But like I said, period piece, I'm already a little dubious, unfortunately. Yeah. So,
well, this is America. You have the right to be wrong. Well, at least a little longer, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
The term, the presidential term is young. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, sir. All right, you're number 7, sir.
All right, I'm gonna go in a genre that I believe you told me you don't care for much.
Okay.
It is a zombie movie.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with one that is not American and is done in Korean.
Oh, Korean. Okay.
I think, is it Korean or Japanese? I think it's Korean. And it is Train to Busan.
Mm-hmm.
Train to Busan is one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen. It's super well done. You have to watch it with subtitles, but I watch everything with subtitles because I'm partially deaf. So, like, that's not a big deal to me. But, like, just the story, the way they do, and how they're on this train trying to escape zombies, and it's a high-speed train. It's just freaking great. They did a really good job with it. The actors are awesome in it. There's like 5 actors from that movie in Squid Games. So, and I was just like, oh, I remember that guy. Oh, I remember that. I remember that person. So it's seriously one of the best zombie horror movies. And I struggle, like, there's some other ones that I would say that I'm with you in, like, I like the comedy horrors to some degree, as long as it's not like it's all comedy with a little horror in it, or it's like a spoof of it. I have another one that I'll mention later in my honorable mentions about that bit. But Train to Busan is superb. If you like zombie movies, you really are doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch this. I really enjoyed the hell out of that movie. Even my wife, who doesn't really care for zombies, was like, that was really good. So, I don't know. Have you ever seen Train to Busan?
Did I like it? No. Did I appreciate it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know that makes no sense, but like for a zombie movie and how they set it up, oh yeah, I totally appreciate how they did. And I am so glad that you enjoyed it. You make up for trash like me.
Well, that's not the thing. It's like we all have our little
things
that we kind of gravitate towards. And that's kind of, you and I talk quite a bit. And a lot of times it is about horror movies and horror shows. And like there's always different ones. And so that's why I thought, oh, well, let's we'll have you on, we'll do our lists, and we'll figure out what's what, So
Yeah.
Train to Busan, that is my favorite zombie movie of the 21st century.
Very good.
Which is there's been a few and there's one that I don't know if either of us can have on our list, but that one that gets considered a zombie movie, which I don't think it's a zombie movie, but
okay.
I'll leave that one for later. But go ahead. What's your number 6?
Number 6, the social commentary genre from Jordan Peele, Get Out. Between that and Us. Both fantastic movies. I think Us is much more layered. Gosh, there's so much in that one, but Get Out, I think, did it just a little bit better. Definitely made a lot of people think. The symbolism, the like the references, the Easter eggs, if you're watching for them, you know what to look for. All phenomenal. So yeah, I really like that one. That one is woke as it can be. And I loved it. Everything that he's put out since then, I think he's done two more, right? Yeah, Us was phenomenal. Nope wasn't as good, but I still really liked it. But to me, Get Out is the best of all three of them.
Okay, yeah, I may or may not have that in a list somewhere. So, the social commentary on that's what drives it, and I feel like he was like hammering you over the head with it.
Yes,
and like it was relentless and didn't let up the entire time, and that had a lot of humor in it too.
Yeah,
like there's one character in there specifically, and if you haven't seen it by now, there might be some spoilers on that because fuck, that's 10 years old. The night guard guy is he's really funny. I can't remember that guy's name, but he's funny, and every time he comes in, he brings some comic relief. There's actually a lot of comic relief in how the people say things, especially the white people. Like when they're saying stuff like, I would have voted for Obama the third time. And I just started fucking laughing, and I was in the theater, and everybody's looking at me. I'm like, that's fucking funny. You kidding me?
And it's Bradley Whitford, who is phenomenal. I love Bradley.
But he's like epitomizing the well-meaning white guy, like just nailing the shit out of that at every turn. So that is just, it's funny. But yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go with the social commentary one too, believe it or not, for number 6.
Okay.
From this year, Sinners.
There we go. Yes, sir.
This, man, I damn near put it higher than this, but it was so new, and I've seen it 3 times. So, but like again, I don't know how much we should do spoilers on that particular one because it's fairly new, but Ryan Coogler directing this movie that is such like a direct look at how Black folks in the 20s and 30s were viewed and talked to and handled, and sharecropping and just all this stuff, and the acting in this movie top to bottom is fucking top notch. Michael B. Jordan plays twins, and you never realize even when they're on screen together, that it's like the same dude.
Yeah,
and it's superbly directed. And it's like, to me, it's like 2 movies. Like there's the beginning where they're getting to it, and then it comes into the vampire stuff, and you're like, oh, okay. But the vampire stuff was also very heavy-handed about the racism and all that shit. And I don't know if you've heard about all the shit that Sinners got, like Ryan Coogler, like the rights he got, like what he negotiated for that movie is like something directors never get. He gets the rights to it. He gets all this shit that they never give directors. Studios don't give directors all that leeway and all that freedom and all those rights to retain things. So good on him. And he's also going to be doing the remake of the X-Files.
Yes.
So I am really looking forward to that. I'm a giant X-Files fan. I think if there's someone who can kind of pull that off, it would be him. But I'm a little worried because he gets a little serious sometimes. And X-Files is very funny in a lot of episodes. So, and it's very neurodivergent. So, like, I hope he nails that bit. But yeah, Sinners, man, I saw that 3 freaking times, and I have to go and buy that one so I have it on physical media, because like you, I want to have the things I like on physical media, because if you rely on it being on streaming, good luck, because they can pull that shit anytime they want, and you are just SOL. You don't get any way to watch it. So here's your little diatribe on going and buying physical media so you have it.
That's right. Do it.
Yeah, that is very true, Daniel. Very true. The casting will be key for that. So for the X-Files reboot. Yeah.
The only reason I did not put Sinners in my top 10, the only reason was because I already had a socially aware movie in there. That's kind of how I structured my top 10. They may not be my top 10 favorites, but I wanted to sprinkle in some of the different genres, which we started talking about. So, yeah, I agree with you. Sinners was fantastic. A very close second to Bring Her Back as far as my favorites of the year. Shoot, it might turn into my first, but yeah, phenomenal film.
Yes. Cheers to that, sir. So now, look at that. We're already halfway through our top 10.
We are. Onward.
Yeah, so, onward. So number 5 for you. What you got?
Number 5 for me. You either loved it or you hated it. There is no in between. Darren Aronofsky's Mother. Just an absolute batshit crazy, insane metaphor of religious and ecological horror. It steps on the gas and does not let up and sets everything on fire. Literally, it's I love that film. Javier Bardem is fantastic. Jennifer Lawrence is as well. Sprinkle in a lot of other folks. Michelle Pfeiffer is in it. Ed Harris. I'm going to butcher this. Denholm Gleeson is in it.
Domhnall Gleeson. I know who you mean. Yeah.
Many
but it's Domhnall is his first name, so it's like really oddballish. But yeah,
Irish, yes.
But he's Irish.
Phenomenal movie. My kids, my 2 girls who watch horror movies with me, they absolutely love that movie. So, loved it.
Yeah, Aronofsky is an interesting cat when he directs things. So, but that one, yeah, that's a really good one. So, yeah. So, my number 5 is a make good as a follow up to the original, which I did not like. And you and I will vehemently disagree on the original. It is Dr. Sleep, which is essentially the sequel to The Shining. And I thought The Shining was... I read the book before I watched The Shining, and the book is fucking miles better than the movie. But I understand why Kubrick didn't want to include all the supernatural shit in that, but the supernatural shit is what made that book fucking fantastic. So, and also the knowledge that Kubrick drove... what's that lady's name that was in the movie? Just almost insane.
Yeah.
Shelley Duvall. He fucked her up so much and did all kinds of mind fuckery to her. I have a hard time taking that one because of that. But, I mean, Jack Nicholson was fucking insanely great in that movie, for sure. The movie, because it was done when it was done, is slow because everything was slow then. But Dr. Sleep, man, I don't know how Flanagan managed to land the plane of like, I'm going to merge the movie and the book, and we're going to make all this land together, and it's going to work. And Rebecca Ferguson as Rose the Hat is a fucking great villain. Just super fucking good. Ewan McGregor, I'm very hit or miss on him. He's in one of my least favorite movies ever called Eye of the Beholder, which I watched. It was him and Ashley Judd in it. And I watched it, and I kept saying, this movie has to get better. This has to get better. And it never did. And it fucking made me angry at him, which is dumb because he just was doing a role. But but he is so good as Danny and as an adult Danny, and just the idea that he was also an alcoholic like his dad, and he was trying to come out of that. And I just really, really fucking love that movie. It's interesting because like Stephen King does a lot of things with people who have what some people would call the touch. He calls it the shine. And that's what the shining is. The shining is you just have this ability to sense things that are extrasensory and all this stuff. And Rebecca Ferguson, I just will say that everything she's in, if she's in it, I'm watching it because she's just a great actress. She's great in everything she's in. Every role she's in, I really just think she's fabulous. She's in a show called Silo, which is a dystopian sort of sci-fi show. I think it's more dystopian than it is sci-fi. She's the main character in that, and she carries that over like Tim Robbins.
Oh wow!
Tim Robbins is good. She's way better than him in that show, and so that tells you the kind of stone she has as an actress. So Dr. Sleep. And it's long. It's not a short movie. It's a really long movie. So you got to strap in. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes or something like that. So I always wondered when movies are made like that. Like I watched One Battle After Another this past week. That is 3 hours long. And when I watch movies at home, I'm like 2 hours and 15 minutes. Nope. So I always wonder how directors are like, I'm going to make this movie and it's going to be 3 hours long. How much did they film that they cut?
Right.
They cut a fuck ton of stuff to get to 3 hours. Like, did you film 10 hours of film and then just cut 7 out? Because that's what they usually do. I think they at least double what they actually do.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you about the long movies versus what's your length? What's your ideal length for the movie?
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter to me. Now, having said that, if I'm going to the theater, I don't care. At home, we're both middle-aged fellas. We sit down and we want to fall asleep. So at home, I tend to, gravitate to 90 minutes, hour 40, and I know I'm going to fall asleep anyway half the time. But most horror movies tend to fall into that. Now, you look in my non-horror closet, everything is over 2.5 hours long, every bit of it.
But I would also like to point out that you like to read historical novels, which are like 1,000 pages, and I think that's insane. So you just like the really long form stuff, apparently.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes. So, yes, we disagree vehemently about the Shining movie. I love that movie. But I also recognize the problems with it. But I do love the original. But Dr. Sleep is phenomenal. And can we also mention Henry Thomas as Jack Torrance? It took me a while to recognize him. And I think he perfectly embodied Nicholson's role without trying to impersonate Nicholson. He was excellent in that. And yes, King originally, I think he met with Mike Flanagan and said, I don't want you bringing the hotel into it at all. And Flanagan's like, just let me show you what I've got. And once he showed him what he was going to do, King gave his blessing. Thank goodness, because how, like you said, how he landed that plane, I don't know, but it was masterful. It was phenomenal. Very good.
He has done another adaptation of a movie of mine, a movie that I don't particularly classify as horror, but he did the adaptation of Gerald's Game, Mike Flanagan, which was absolutely freaking great. But I don't really consider that a horror movie, so I didn't consider it for this list. But he's supposed to be doing an adaptation of The Dark Tower, which if there's any man who can land that particular plane, which nobody's even come close. They made a Dark Tower movie, which was fucking shit. And he's going to make a series, in theory. I hope he does that, because I am so itching to see what he does with it, because you and I both are real big fans of his work, especially like his TV shows. And I'm going through this podcast called Flanagan's Wake with the guys who used to do Kingslingers, and they're doing all his movies and shows and like all these different things in order. And it's been really interesting to like go through his like filmography and just like, wow, this guy just does, like, he just takes things and like, I'm going to mix all this shit together and it's going to come together and it's going to work. Yeah. And he does.
Yeah. He's phenomenal. Midnight Mass is my favorite show of his. Like that show made me cry. And it's a freaking horror show, and I loved it. So yeah, when I heard he was adapting that, I'm like, please, somebody greenlight this, because if anybody can film that series, it's him. So yeah.
The question is, where will Kate Siegel fall in that series? Since that's his wife and she's in everything he makes.
She will be Roland Deschain's mother.
That actually would be pretty perfect, I think.
I think so. Walter O'Dim will seduce her. So yeah, I think that's where she would land.
What would be great if she was Rhea the Coos?
Yeah.
She could pull that off. She's fucking great. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll be
sorry, it's tight tangent. Dark Tower is my second favorite book series ever. So like, and I did like what Kingslingers did was they would have one guy who read all the books and the other guy read none of them, and they would read them together and then they would talk about it. And then I said, all right, Aaron, come with me on this journey. And you had never read the Dark Tower, so I would send you the links. Here you go. Do the Kindle version or the audiobook version. I can't remember which.
Kindle. And it was phenomenal. One of the best gifts I've ever received. So thank you, sir. And I'm in the middle of the audiobooks now. I just finished up the drawing of the 3. Yeah. And I'm doing the adjacent books now. So I've got lots to go. But double speed and I'll be finished in no time.
Yeah, fuck you and that double speed. You and I argue. Well, like I said, I'm partially deaf, so I can't listen to anything at like fast speed because I can't catch it. So, like, what? I get that you're doing that. Yeah, you heard me. I'm actually I'm doing the audiobook series for the first time, and I'm on the very last one, and I'm on like 8 hours in. I'm 8 hours in, but it's a 30-hour audiobook.
Yeah, so, for me, it'd be about 45 minutes.
Yeah, fucking listen to Alvin and the Chipmunks reading the Dark Tower for you. So, all right, number 4, I think. All right,
4,
what do you got?
Sir. Let's round out our love of Robert Eggers with his latest one, Nosferatu. To me, gosh, probably the most beautiful film in the horror genre made this century. And everything from a filmmaking aspect is just pristine. The cinematography, the costumes, the acting, all of it is fantastic. It's beautiful. It definitely is an homage to the original way back in 1921. Yeah, I absolutely love that movie. There's nothing really more I can say about it. People who hate it are wrong, because I love that film. And I am, you know what his next project is, right? He's working on a werewolf. He's working on a werewolf period piece, and the movie is going to be in 1300s Middle English.
Oh, Jesus.
It's going to be phenomenal.
That'll be interesting for sure.
It will be. So, yeah. Nosferatu. Loved it.
Yeah, apologies. My voice is a little off. I had some whiskey go down my windpipe. Ooh, that was unpleasant.
Yes.
Yeah. So for number 4, I'm going to go with something that I think at the time was really original. They made a million sequels. None will live up to the original. It's Saw.
Okay. Yeah.
And what I liked about it, it was body horror, but it was also psychological.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really liked about it. And Jigsaw is a really good villain.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I really enjoyed the shit out of that. Like I said, all the sequels kind of, like you're more versed in that than I am, but that first one came out and I was like, Cary Elwes is playing like a dude in it, which is like, why is he in this? Like, but he's really good at it. Like I said, I really, really thought that was really good and really unique for the time. And, you know, with the advent of Blumhouse and making a million movies that are sort of in that realm.
Yeah.
It's not so unusual now, but back then it was, I think, when it first came out.
And it became like an event for years. The sequels, they were churning these things out one a year, and they did 7 of them, and then stopped, and then did Jigsaw, then the spinoff Spiral, and then did Saw X like 2 years ago. I love the whole franchise because, and it's a structure thing. Most people are like, oh, can they outdo the goriness and stuff? No, the structure weaves together very well. At least it does to me. So, but you're right. For back in the day, Saw was revolutionary. And kudos to James Wan. James Wan is all about creating the universes and then handing them off to other people. Like the Saw is one, the Conjuring universe, Insidious, maybe 1 or 2 more. But yeah, I'm with you. Saw is phenomenal. It barely didn't make it into my top 10.
Yeah, I put it that high just because of its uniqueness and for the time. It was like more of like at the time. There's certain movies that are just for the time or just like way ahead of time, way ahead of the curve. It's like sort of like, this is maybe a little hyperbole, but it's like sort of the horror equivalent of The Matrix. Like the way they just changed the way movies are done, because then all of a sudden Michael Blumhouse, and they just start making Hostel and all these movies that are all very much in that same vein. But they can make those for cheap. So that's why Saw kept getting churned out one a year, because they could make them cheap and they would make a lot of money.
They turn a profit down.
So, and unfortunately that sucks, because then that can dilute the product. But like I said, I wasn't as impressed with the sequels as I was with the original. The original was kind of like, wow, that was fantastic. I was not expecting that ride at all.
Yeah.
All right, man. Number 3. Let's go.
Yes, sir. So, surprise, surprise, a zombie movie. And this one,
wow,
a foreign flick, came out of Argentina last year. Holy cow. It just rocked my socks off. When Evil Lurks. Holy cow. I love this movie because it's a possession movie without religion. Several times throughout the film, they'll say the church is dead, God is dead. And so, the directors are like, how do we make a possession movie without the priest? And they did a phenomenal job. The lore is well built. The characters are great. The gore is fantastic. Oh my gosh. There's one scene in particular. I will not spoil it, but you will just sit there with your mouth wide open. Like, did I just see what I just saw? And yes, indeed you did. So yeah.
I know which scene you're talking about. So yes.
Yeah, every once in a while a zombie movie does come out that I love, and When Evil Lurks is that zombie movie for me. Fantastic.
Awesome. Like I think I saw that once, and I was like, really, like, this is freaking good. So I really thought it was good too. Number 3 for me is one you've already mentioned, and it is Mother. I didn't comment on that because that movie, I did not know what to expect going in. You just said it was very good, and I was like, all right, let's go. And I remember messaging you after that, and I was like, that was a fucking masterpiece. That movie was just all over the place in a great way. It wasn't like a mess. It was just chaotic. And like I said, all these people, like Javier Bardem, just being this sort of a lunatic. Just
an ass. He's a narcissistic ass.
Yep. And Jennifer Lawrence was, I don't think she gets her due. I think she's a pretty good actress. I think she does some things that are really interesting and will take on things that other folks won't. But Mother, just like that ending, I was like, oh shit, like, wow.
Yeah.
And it is. I think that is just, if you like chaotic, you don't know what's coming next kind of horror, that's the ride. That will take you on the roller coaster you want to go on. So I couldn't agree with you more. It really stuck with me for a few days. Like, it wasn't like my number 1 is one that disturbed me for several days. This one made me think for 3 days about, like, what was that? And why did they do that? But like, that's I like that kind of stuff. I want something that makes me kind of question what I'm watching and, all that stuff. So Mother is number 3 for me because like that was just all over the place in the best of ways.
And could not say it any better. Agreed.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to say. Yeah.
Nothing to add? All right. I feel better now.
Yeah.
All right.
That was good.
All right. We're getting into nitty gritty. What's number 2 for you?
Number 2. So when Laura and I, my wife, walked into the theater to this one a few minutes late. Didn't matter. It freaked the daylights out of us. This was back when Japanese horror was being adapted for American audiences. And there were 2 that came out back to back. Both were good, but this one I think is slightly better. The Ring. The sequels were terrible, but The Ring was just fantastic. Something that I feel like had not been seen before. And it was just phenomenal. I love the color palette of that movie, just dark gray with like maybe hints of green in it. The whole idea of just you watch this tape and you're fucked. I do smile that the technology is so dated now. You could not make this movie now. You couldn't make it now. So it definitely cements itself in time when tape was still prominent. DVDs were just coming along, but phenomenal acting, phenomenal mood and atmosphere. So yeah, it scared the crap out of us, and we love that movie, and I still love it today.
Yeah, that is one that like the main character, like the lady coming out of the TV, is just super fucking creepy. That is so well done.
Yes.
Yeah.
So well
done. Also, I thought for some reason that was made in like late 90s.
I did too. I looked it up. Like, no, it was 2004.
2002. I saw that. Maybe that's the original. Maybe 2004 is when the American version was, and maybe 2002 was like the original version. Maybe it was made. Yeah, the original was called Ringu or something like that. So yeah, that's a really good one. I'm jealous of that because I didn't look it up because I was being too lazy apparently. But so my number 2 you already mentioned as well. It's Get Out. I remember being just completely floored after that movie was done. There's a part at the end where the girlfriend is eating cereal but had the milk separate, and it's just subtle but not subtle show of just how racist she is. Like, just everything seems so intentional that Jordan Peele did it, and it was also the fact that everybody knew Jordan Peele from fucking the Comedy Skit, and here he comes out and makes this fucking banger fucking horror movie. It was like, what the fuck? What? Where did you do? So yeah, it's a lot of it is just more like from Jordan Peele. I was like, really? Like, okay, well, then watch. I was like, holy fuck! Like, I'm going to watch whatever he makes next, and I did. But I just think that's another thing is I do like the sort of social awareness horror. Like, I like that too because there's just the ones that are like environmental horror and things like that. That always like gets me. But like just the way they just structured that, like the weird thing where the house servants were like running in straight lines and then would just turn like on a 90-degree angle and just like why are they doing that? And just like, yeah, it's the sunken room stuff.
Oh yeah.
The sunken room is just so immensely fucked up, and I was like, "All right, this is great." So that was just a great, like, it's an original idea. Like, and again, I'm a sucker for that. Give me something original. Like, the tropes are tropes for a reason that they work. So it's not like watching something. Okay, well, I'm going to watch a zombie movie. It's going to happen, and I'm okay. Well, I get that, or it's just going to be this movie, and I know what I'm going to get. I didn't know what I was going to get, and I just fucking love that freaking movie. So yeah, that was number 2 for me.
Absolutely. So here we go. Number 1. This is the only one in the list that had a number. Everything else was just kind of in haphazard order. This one by far to me is the best horror movie of the century so far. I think it's one of the best of all time. Like we talked earlier about, like 21st century horror boils down to like 6 or 7 directors. You know, we've mentioned Peele and Eggers and James Wan. M. Night hadn't gotten any love, but there's a reason for that. The Philippou brothers, and one of the other ones is Ari Aster. Hereditary, by far the best to me horror movie that has been made this year. That thing is just a freaking masterpiece of, how did he describe it? I watched the
like familial. I almost feel like familial horror. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, he described it as when I was watching the special features, Aster did like interview, and he said horror movies just take drama and turn the volume up to 10. And he said we could have made a movie about a dysfunctional family, but we decided, okay, let's frame that in the midst of, okay, mom's a cult leader, and they're trying to, bring the God that they worship into one of her grandchildren. I'm like, yes, that is exactly right. And that's always stuck with me. Horror is drama turned up to 11. And I agree. It is a great film about family dysfunction. There are just some moments where your jaw drops to the floor. I'm thinking 2 in particular. It's been out for a while. Like you said, I'm trying to keep it spoiler free, but there's just 2 moments where it's like, oh my God, did they really? Yes, they did. So, masterpiece. Hereditary.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that too. So I am going to go with a different Ari Aster film as my number 1.
Oh yes,
and it is Midsummer.
Yes.
Midsummer fucked me up for like days. Like I was like, what? Like, why can't I get this out of my head? Like, there's something enormously creepy about horror taking place during the day, where everything's in sunlight.
Yes.
And that was the thing that was like completely threw me the fuck off. I was like, why is it like this? And then, but oh my God, it was just so fucking good. Like, and the idea, I think this was actually my introduction to Florence Pugh, who I think is a unbelievably great actress. I think she's great. And you know, there's just some, like, the scene where they walk out and the elders jump off the cliff.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck? And everybody's like, yeah, well, that's just how it gets. And I was like, what's that? And then there's the part where the guy, like, they're getting her boyfriend, who is like the boyfriend to fuck one of the girls to get her pregnant, because and he does it, and then she's all upset, and then she becomes like the queen of Midsummer, and like he's going into this building to get burnt, and she's just like, yep, and a big smile at the end when she realizes everything, and I was just like,
they shove him into a gutted bear.
Yeah.
It's just wild. It is insane. Or Will Poulter, who is amazing in everything. He's like taking a piss, and he's pissing on their ancestors' ashes. What did I do? I had to take a leak. It was phenomenal. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I saw that in the theater, and of course, I absolutely loved it. And Laura went with me. She's on my left, another guy's on my right, and as soon as the lights come up in stereo, they both say, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
It's something, man. It's something.
I think that would qualify as like absurdist horror, because there's a lot of absurdity in it, but also folk horror. Folk horror.
Aster's good at that sort of what the fuck horror. Like, that is something he's really fucking good at. And I think I do think Hereditary is a little bit of like the what the fuck horror in ways too. because you just go out and like, that was excellent, but I couldn't tell you exactly why and what that was, but man, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, so I come from a pretty non-religious background. My wife came from a very religious background, and she was like, I fucking love this. This is all the kind of shit with the like all the religious overtones, and she was getting it because she's coming from this place I'm not. Yeah, that's one of her favorite fucking horror movies. I bought like the special edition from A24 for her that has like the artwork and all that stuff because she was just So like that movie, just like I said, I remember just being like, I really need to go sit down for a little bit. Like that was something. Like I said, I think a lot of it is, while it might be absurdist, it's also just like the idea that it's all taking place during the day. I don't know why that is more terrifying, because almost all your horror stuff almost always takes place at night.
That's right.
So, and Ari Aster's like, nope, I'm doing this all during the day because it's the longest day of the year or whatever. However, like it was like a solstice or whatever. My brain is forgetting all of it, but he's like, I'm going to make it all daylight. Like you almost see do you see any scenes where it's nighttime?
Maybe one, like when they're like asleep or something, but it's very little.
But it's at the beginning when they're not even to midsummer yet.
Yeah.
And also that is the only criticism I will have of that movie is the part before they go where Florence Pugh's clearly fucked up and they're like, don't bring her. And he's like, well, I gotta. I don't know you need that part of the movie because it plays no role in the rest of it at all. That would be my only critique of that. But like the rest of it is just, that is a tour de force of just holy shit. Like, I don't know what else. That was wow.
Great way to put a tour de force of holy shit. I like that. That's good. Yeah. And like Jill, I picked up on the religious overtones very quickly. Like most of the names in the film of the tourists are Bible names. It really, I don't know if undermines organized religion, but if that's the right way to say it, but I think that was, that might have been, Astor never really said anything about that, but I definitely feel it was in there. And, I for one loved it. So, correct, sir. That is a masterpiece.
Yeah. I just find it funny that we both picked an Ari Aster movie, but they were different ones.
Right.
and the one I picked, you didn't have it in your top 10, and the one you picked, I didn't have in my top 10 either.
Yeah, because I had to take something out.
Yeah, but yeah, I like I said, I liked Hereditary. I just profoundly was upset by Midsummer, and to me, like if you're going to do that to me with a horror movie, then you've really done your job because I've seen loads of horror movies. So why don't we go to what you would consider honorable mention, ones that didn't quite make the cut, but like I said, I think both of us were like, we both said we had our number one, and all the rest were kind of just whatever day I'm feeling. That's how it's going to be the list that day, this kind of thing. So,
and I'll just mention some of these. I'll go through. I got a decent number. I'll just go through as quickly as I can. Like The Conjuring, phenomenal. You had The Lighthouse. We mentioned Us, Sinner, Salt. Weapons just came out. Wonderful film. The structure is fantastic, and there's a little humor in it as well, which was hilarious, very good. In a Violent Nature. Love that movie. An homage to the slasher films of the 80s. Has the best kill I've ever seen in a horror movie. Fantastic. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. One of my favorite possession movies because, again, of how it's structured. You've got an agnostic lawyer defending a priest and using religion in her case versus a devout Methodist using purely scientific things to build his case in the courtroom. Phenomenal. Loved it. And it kind of left it up in the air. I had stuff like Signs, The Village, M. Night movies. We've mentioned some of those. Renfield, hilarious. Nick Cage, you're feeding me trash. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, it's wonderful. Frailty, most underrated.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, most underrated horror movie of the. I love it. What if the religious fanatics are right? Love that one. The Lodge is fantastic for similar reasons. The Strangers, just for dread. Not the new ones that have come out. They're shit. The original, just the sense of dread is great. The Taking of Deborah Logan, great possession movie. What We Do in the Shadows, hilarious. That's one exception to the comedy thing. What else did I have? Mentioned all the Heretic, great religious horror movie. Very talky, lots of dialogue, but I love that. And then we've got some that are not well known, but independent film is where I think horror really thrives a lot. Watched one this year called Ennis Men. That's just weird. It's a woman on an island, and she has like hallucinations and stuff. Very little dialogue. It was good. Daddy's Head. Crazy creature horror. Another one of those familial ones. Azrael. Cult horror. Not a single word is spoken in the whole movie, but it's a lot of action, a lot of gore. Very good. Foreign film called Handling the Undead. It's a zombie movie, but it's very light in its tone. Excellent. 1408, great Stephen King adaptation. You Won't Be Alone, another foreign film about a woman who becomes a witch. It's really good. Lamb was insane, where the woman takes care of this. Yeah, just so strange. And then the goriest of them all, the Terrifier series. Stories are terrible, but the special effects are absolutely phenomenal. And I sit there wondering, how on earth did they do some of this? So those are my honorable mentions that I had to dig through and figure out.
Okay, that's a pretty good list. I wasn't sure if you're going to do Terrifiers. So yeah, hold on just a second here. I'm trying to figure out this one thing. Anyway, so my list was a little smaller.
Okay.
So hold on.
I'll tell you what, while you're looking, I missed one. This one many wouldn't consider a horror movie. I would. The Zone of Interest. The Holocaust movie where you don't see it, but you hear it. You hear all the atrocities taking place in the background of the camp. It is so unsettling. So yeah, now I'm done.
Okay. So hold on here. I'm just doing something goofy with YouTube. So anyway, so mine are, I only kept it to 5. I tried to keep it a little brief. What I'm a little jealous of is I, for some reason, thought Frailty was not, I thought that was in the 90s again. And I'm mad because if I would have known Frailty was in the 2000s, that would have been in my top 10 for sure. Because I fucking love that movie.
Yes, 2001.
Damn. Ugh. I'm really mad. That would have been in my top 10 because I think that movie is fucking insanely good. And I agree with you. So underrated. Mm-hmm. Is it Bill Pullman? Not Bill Pullman. Bill
Paxton.
Bill Paxton. I don't confuse them how they look. I confuse their names.
Yes.
So yeah, Bill Paxton just playing this deranged guy. It's fucking great. Yeah. He's so good at it because he never plays that. He doesn't really play that kind of guy. Well, never did. No. But like, so yeah. So my honorable mentions. You mentioned almost all of them. Bring Her Back. That was just from a pure factor. It's just super good. Weapons. I absolutely adored that freaking movie, and that was my best movie going experience of the year. When I went to the movie, because people were laughing like at the right time, because the end scene where the lady's getting chased is fucking hilarious. It's just so fucking funny.
Yes.
You know, there's some weird elements to it where they do the thing where you see the number up in the sky on a gun, and that doesn't have anything to do with anything, and just like but that kind of adds to the charm of how weird it is. Benedict Wong being in that movie, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. And I like that they kind of converged storylines and all that. Weapons was just really good. Nosferatu was, I think, like, cinematically, that was a beautiful fucking film.
Yeah.
I picked The Lighthouse over it because I could hear dialogue.
Yeah.
Nosferatu is difficult for me because Skarsgård doing Nosferatu's voice is impossible for me to pick out and understand what he was saying. So I watched it in the theater. I missed at least 50% of the dialogue in that movie. I came home and I was able to watch it with subtitles. I'm like, oh, that was really excellent. But that one, for the Lighthouse, also the Lighthouse, I'm a sucker for anything with Lovecraftian theme in it. Just sign me up. Sign me up. I'm there. So I'm going to pick that. Now, what's funny is I also put Nope in my list, and there's a particular reason that I put that in there. Is Daniel Kaluuya, his acting in that movie was just one of the best acting jobs I've seen in a long time, and he doesn't say much. It's just facial expressions and the way he just looks at things, and just you understand everything he's thinking. Without saying 5 words.
That's right.
And I just think his acting is so superb. It's a little bit of a goofy concept, but I like that it's a little goofy. It's not like your run-of-the-mill thing.
That's right.
And who was the lady that was in it? Was it Issa Rae? I can't remember. But she's just playing really fucking crazy stuff. Kiki Palmer. Thank you for that, producer. And the other 2 I have, one is Shaun of the Dead.
Okay,
that is a very funny zombie movie. That is funny. It is that is an exception to the rule for me, because it is so incredibly funny that it just makes the rest of it fine. And is that a horror movie? Not really. It's really a comedy with zombies in it. But that straddles the line. And the one that I put in here was Identity. I don't know if you remember that. Identity was great. Why the fuck did I know Identity was in 2003 and I didn't know Frailty was in 2000? That makes me very angry that I forgot Frailty. Like, I have Frailty on DVD because I freaking love that movie so much.
Yeah.
And Matthew McConaughey, that was a moment where I was like, oh, that guy can actually act.
Right. Right.
It's like, he was just the all right guy for forever, and then the rom-com dude, and I'm like, oh, he can actually really act. He's phenomenal in that movie for what little he is in it. So yeah, that was my honorable mentions. Like I said, like, again, horror, like any media you consume, is subjective. Like, everything is what you like. As Greg and I say on our other show, like what you like and enjoy what you like. And, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. I think that's a dumb phrase. We like different things with horror, but we're also, I think both of us are willing to be like, oh, you said that was pretty good. Well, if you're saying that's pretty good, maybe I'm going to give that a chance, even if it might not be in my wheelhouse. So, it's super fun, man. It's super fun watching. And the thing is, what's funny is, I don't know if you feel like this, but I feel like horror is having a bit of a renaissance right now with movies and with books. Books is like horror's right on the same level as the smutty romance stuff. Like, they're both sort of blowing up at the same level. But so
I feel like this year included, the last 3 years, like post-COVID, horror has had several banner years in a row. Just really, really great stuff come out. And there's some stuff that has gotten high reviews that I've missed. Like, I wanted to see Bone Lake, was like upper 90s on Rotten Tomatoes. And the theater here kept it for a week. So I have to wait for that one. So yeah, I'm with you. Horror's definitely undergoing like a renaissance, a resurgence for sure. We've had several great years in a row.
Yeah, and it's nice to see. And what's interesting is people are willing to take some, like, the studios are starting to take a bit of chances on it too. But they're willing to be like, let's roll the dice on this, because one, like I said, horror is fairly cheaply made. Now there's some exceptions to that, of course, but like, it's fairly cheaply made. You could turn it over pretty fast. And so from a studio perspective, why wouldn't you do that? Like, Blumhouse has made a whole industry out of making really cheap horror movies, and they all make money. They might not make a lot of money, but they all make money, which means they can make more of it. So they just keep churning stuff out. And, a lot of it, as to me, is kind of slop, but some people like that. Some people like, just give me this super cheesy goofy horror stuff or something with a lot of gore or whatever. Like the Terrifier is popular for a reason. Like people, they made 3 of them because they made money, because people like to see gross kills. So yeah.
And 4 is on the way. And speaking of studios, like for a while, A24 has been where it's at for horror, but Neon
is
up quickly. They're right there with them. And every once in a while, Shudder will throw something out there. They did In a Violent Nature. So there's several great studios out there just putting out fantastic stuff. James Wan's what is his Atomic Monster, and Jordan Peele's is Monkey Paw. So there's some great studios putting out great stuff.
Yeah, Neon put out the Late Night with the Devil, which should have been in my honorable mentions. I forgot to write that down because that was just barely missed. But they made that, and I like seeing studios being like, all right, let's roll the dice on this a bit. Like they used to do that a lot, and that comes with some risk, but not everything can be a Marvel movie. Like Marvel's kind of fallen off a bit because whatever. But that was the thing, and people would complain and be like, well, it's all Marvel movies. Yeah, but I think what A24 is doing is interesting because they kind of built their platform on these really interesting horror things, and now they're doing a lot of different stuff. Yeah, like they did the Smashing Machine with The Rock, which I'm utterly uninterested in, which you probably are because it's sort of MMA wrestling affiliated, which whatever. And that's not my jam.
I just want to see Rock the Dwayne Johnson in something.
Dwayne Johnson?
Rock the Dwayne Johnson, yeah, that's what I'm talking about here. In something other than Jumanji. Because apparently he's phenomenal in it. Like the film's not doing real well, but I didn't expect it to, because it's such a different turn for him. But that's the only reason I want to see it. I want to see if that dude can really act.
All I've heard is that the movie's not great, but he is.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting. So good for him. If he can do some things that are more serious, he's always kind of been just he's either really silly or he's really muscular, tough guy. And it's one of the two things. It's, I want to see him do different stuff. So yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't he playing himself?
Not in the Smashing Machine. He's playing an MMA fighter. But one of the early MMA, the MMA fighter before MMA became really popular. He was like,
okay, cool. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Mark Kerr. He's playing Mark Kerr. Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I love what A24 is willing to roll the dice on. They're really willing to just go and explore the space, for lack of a better term. And Neon is too. And the bigger studios, I think, are like, I will say they did one battle. Was Warner Brothers the one that did One Battle After Another? I can't remember, but that was a big studio. But that movie was 10 years in the making. Like PTA took a long time to do that, which is interesting because the movie itself is a very big middle finger to what's going on right now to me. Yeah. But but anyway, I really appreciate the smaller studios. I wanted to be like, hey, let's try it, see what happens. See if it sticks to the wall or not.
And I feel like horror is almost the only genre where like original content happens there, because oh my gosh, Hollywood has been obsessed with remakes forever, and rarely are they even close to being as good as anything original. There's like no original ideas, but you're seeing these horror directors, both well known and not, like take a lot of risks and do some different things with well-established tropes. So yeah, to me, horror is where it's at if you want something original.
Yeah, like I said, I think A24 is kind of branching out a bit from that, where they're not just doing the horror stuff and trying to gamble on some things. Like the Smashing Machine was like one of those things that they put like, hey, let's give The Rock a look at Oscar nominations, like kind of like when Mickey Rourke was in The Wrestler. Like that movie's gonna suck, but Mickey Rourke's really good at it, so maybe he can get an Oscar for it. Like maybe that's their version of this for him. But so I don't know. You're much more of a movie connoisseur than I. Are there any movies, before we kind of wrap this up here? Are there any movies coming out, or even I'm going to open up the horror TV shows that you're looking into that would be interesting to you?
Oh gosh.
I know this. I'm throwing this at you. Like, hey, how about this?
Yeah. I know that there's a couple of horror movies coming out, and I can't remember what they are. Like, we're both rolling on very little sleep right now, so we're kind of loopy. Like I said, I know that Osgood Perkins' new one. I can't remember what it's called. It comes out in like November. There's a few more horror movies that are coming out that I want to see. TV shows, I'm kind of in between stuff right now because all of my regular shows, their new seasons came out last year. So this year is like, okay, we're writing more, and next year they'll produce them, and then the year after they'll come out again. So I'm kind of in between some things. I started an older series on HBO called The Young Pope.
Oh yeah, with Jude Law.
Yeah, it started slow, but I've been encouraged to continue it. So I'm gonna continue to watch that. Yeah, there's some I've got saved. My brain is old and dusty and tired, so I can't remember what they are right now. But there's some stuff out there that I'm looking at.
Yeah, there's a few. I'm looking forward to that Osgood one too, and I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. There is one. I'm not sure it's particularly horror, but there's the Predator Badlands, which was the guy that made Prey, which was a fucking awesome Predator movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the most original takes on Predator, and they're going to do the Badlands, which is interesting. Like I said, I'm not sure that exactly classifies as horror, but there is one that is called Incidents Around the House. I read the book. Incidents Around the House is basically Incidents Around the House. The book was basically a haunting book, all done from like an 8-year-old's perspective. All the dialogue is by the 8-year-old. All the perspective is. So it's almost like first person from an 8-year-old. And the book was fantastic because the way it was written, it's written like an 8-year-old would talk, but from the house is haunted kind of deal. And I'm really super interested to see how they make that into a movie. And I sent you this one. I haven't watched 28 Years Later, but there's another thing coming out that is called what's it? 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which looks fucking nuts. Ralph Fiennes is in it, playing some like refugee from. I don't know what to explain. I don't even know what to expect out of that. And I haven't even seen 28 Years Later, which is supposedly very good. But The Bone Temple is fucking awesome.
It's really good. There's just been so many great movies. I didn't really include it, but it was really good. The last 5 minutes are very Danny Boyle. I'm not a Danny Boyle fan.
Oh, Danny Boy.
So the last 5 minutes are like, oh yeah, that's Danny Boyle. But the rest of the movie is really, really good. And yeah, to see Ralph Fiennes covered in betadine as a doctor from the old world, and yet he has his Voldemort voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really good. So I'm looking forward to that sequel. It does look pretty insane. But yeah, it's that movie made me cry. It really did. There's a scene in it that was just so moving. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next two that are coming out.
Yeah, so I would say that Danny Boyle's not the guy that I like out of that crew. It's Alex Garland, who makes some but he makes really good war movies. Like he made one, I can't remember what the name of it. Like this year, he made one called Warfare, which I haven't watched yet, which I want to. But there's one he made last year where Kristen Dunst was a photographer. Civil War, and that was so goddamn intense.
Yeah,
and I love but Garland, when he's doing his own thing, he is really good at building tension and just keeping it like I'm gonna let up on you the entire time. You're just gonna be intense the entire time. And Kristen Dunst, that was the best thing I've ever seen her in. Like she was just great in that, and she's been in a million things, but man, that movie is superb. So that's a little deviation from the horror, but like, I mean, I could talk movies and directors and all that shit all night. So
same.
Yeah. All right. So the producer has a question. What do you have? Or did I miss it already?
Hello. I have a statement and a question. I want to say shout out to Aaron and thank him for coming on Mortal Content. It's nice to see him here. And I don't know. I just want to say hi to him. Hi, Aaron.
What's up? I am super stoked to be here. I'm always stoked to be with you guys when you invite me on one of your 10,000 shows that you do.
So yeah, Doug, I want to give a shout out to this horror movie that's coming out, and we know why. But
oh yeah. The reason, Aaron, is one of our friends who's been on Mortal Content and been on our other show is the costume designer for that movie.
I can't. Is that Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. She was also the costume director, costume designer for the first one.
Okay. I hated the first one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're the intended audience for that particular movie.
Children, my girls loved it. Yeah, they're looking forward to the second one. So that's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, she was on last month, right, Doug?
Yeah, she was. So yeah, she was on last month, I believe. So no, it was a month before. Sorry, last month we had a music show.
Oh yeah, we had.
But the month before we had her on talking about So yeah, that is one that because we have a friend who actually was on that set and did all that work, we wanted to shout that out. Thank you for doing that, producer. I forgot.
Awesome, that I'm in. Excellent. So lastly, are there any? Because y'all could probably talk a whole hour about this, but are there any like favorites that y'all have, specifically like Halloween themed horror movies? Like, yes, horror is a good genre for Halloween, but like are like where there's like a party or there's like the theme is like Halloween for people to watch it, like leading up to Halloween. Of course any horror movie would work, but are there any the one that comes to mind for me is like, isn't Scream Halloween kind of oriented, or what are you thinking, Aaron? I see I got you the light bulb going.
Yeah, you got me here a little bit. Yeah, the original Scream. Yeah, absolutely. They're in the house having a party, and Ghostface shows up. That's a good one. The original Halloween doesn't really have a party per se, but teenagers doing things that teenagers do when they drink and are dating. That happens. The Exorcist, both the book and the movie have a party scene where Father Dyer is playing the piano and looks over, and there's Reagan, and he's like, "Oh, we have a guest," and she looks right at him, dead-eyed, and said, "You're all going to die up there." Fantastic. And then she pees on the floor. Fantastic scene.
Oh man, great call on that one.
Right?
Yeah. I would also say that I'm pretty sure Creepshow was set then, like the original movie. Nightmare on Elm Street was too.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to give you one that isn't really a horror movie that I think is my favorite one set around Halloween. It is Paranorman, which is an absolutely awesome animated movie.
Wow.
About a kid who sees ghosts, and it takes place right around Halloween, and the ghosts are people who burn witches at the stake.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie is fucking great, and it's one of my favorite quote unquote kids movies. All my kids love that movie. Yeah, it's goofy to say that it's super funny. So it's not exactly like a horror movie, but it's set around Halloween, and I just really adore that movie.
Well, thank you for that. Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. Go on.
No, you're fine. E.T. has a nice extended Halloween scene with a shout out. Of course, it's made in '80. It comes out in '82 and has a shout out to Star Wars, where they throw the sheet over the alien, and so that one's good.
All right. So one last question. What do y'all got? Weapons or sinners?
Ooh.
I'm going to say Sinners is the better movie. Weapons is the more fun hang. If that
Agree.
makes sense.
Yep. I'm right there with you. Yep.
Okay,
Like,
I think you answered it.
Yeah, I think the idea of like Weapons is like if you just want to put some on and be like, cool, I'm just going to watch this, but I don't necessarily have to. I do have to pay attention, but not totally. Whereas I feel like if you're watching Sinners, you got to focus. Like you can't, like, even if you've seen it multiple times, I feel like you're almost required to be like, I'm going to focus on this. I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm not going to fuck around. I'm not going to do other things. Whereas Weapons, I feel like that thing you could put on and you could do other things. And it doesn't mean that it's not a good movie. It's an excellent movie, but it's just a different thing. I think it's a better hang.
Agreed.
All right. So that was the producer popping in for a little bit there. But Aaron, any last ideas, any last words before we call it an evening?
No, this was a blast. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad we were able to take some things that we talk about, quite often, and bring it to a format like this because, it's fun. It's a blast. So thank you, gentlemen, for having me on. It was a good time, and maybe this is something we do like every year. We can review.
Man, I like that.
Yeah, every year about this time. So holler back at me next year.
I have an idea for that, which I will talk to you after the show. So if you want to hang around for a few minutes after we're done here. But yeah, Aaron, thanks a lot for being here. Super appreciate you coming on and just blabbing about horror movies. You and I could talk for fucking 10 hours about this stuff. So yeah.
Yep.
Whoop. Fear and Review. What a great name for instead of Year in Review, Fear and Review.
Nice.
Damn it, Daniel. Good job. So anyway, I have not sorted out who I'm having on next month. So we've talked horror a couple, like we talked horror 2 out of the last 3 months. So probably going to shift gears a bit on that. But everybody, thanks again for joining us. And we'll see you next month. It will be, sorry, I'm going to look at it right now because I'm super prepared. It is November 11th will be the next one. So, all right, folks, thank you again for joining us, and we will catch you on the flip side. Cheers.